morning, good morning, good morning, my beautiful friends. It's Sunday. I've been left alone, unsupervised. You know what that means? I turn on the camera, which is not necessarily a good thing for the internet, but we shall see, right? We shall definitely see. Anything can happen. You know me, I'm a wild, crazy man. Good morning, good morning, good morning from wherever you are watching from. I am watching and talking from the middle of the United States, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I mean, if you were to throw a dart right in the middle of the country, you would land on top of my house. Now, what's going to happen is someone's going to measure that and keep me in check because they're going to say, Oklahoma City is not perfectly centered. You know what I mean. My name is Patrick Allman. I run a marketing agency here in Oklahoma City called Stop Doing Nothing Media. And you know what? We just love lead gen. We love marketing. We love lifting people up and we love making them smarter. And we like caffeine and we like to talk. And we like airplanes and we like good weather and we like hiking. So if you like all those things and all your Venn diagrams cross with mine, or at least one of them, I mean, if you like hiking and you don't like any of the rest of the stuff, feel free to stay and hang out. But if you're someone who likes some of those things I like, then hang out with us for the next, I don't know how long. We're going to get a little bit nerdy here. So if you're tuning in also and you're wondering, why am I here? What is this guy? How did I find this place? What am I doing on the internet? What I do on occasion is I will do a live kind of open office hours on a Sunday morning. And my goal here is just kind of an open Q&A. I've got some kind of things I want to work through myself when it comes to marketing and in particular the Highlevel CRM, which is a big part of our offering here in at the agency here in Oklahoma City. But you know, just about any marketing question is on the table, and we're also going to, at least via text, hear from other people who are smarter than me, because that's the only way I get smarter, is just smarter people than me come in and share their information, share their perspective on things also. Could you do me a little bit of a favor? If it works out for you and if it's right for you, share this show. Grab the YouTube link, share it on Facebook, share it in all the groups you're members of that I'm probably not, members of. If you're in some short white lady marketing group that only allows in short white ladies, I'm not going to be in that group, but feel free to share that. Feel free to share this link around as much. That's social currency for me. It really helps me out. Also, if you could subscribe to on YouTube and turn on notifications, and we get a little pop-up on the show, a little sound, and you know what? It's kind of cool for me. As a matter of fact, Henry, my buddy, I didn't realize that you weren't subscribed. I got a notification like 20 minutes ago that you popped up. So this cool little software that will put like a little overlay that'll probably be right over here on top of the plant. You see that plant behind me? The plant is behind me on my right, maybe on your left. Like a little pop-up's going to come up that's going to show your name, where you're from, what's your question. I mean, that's going to show the subscribe. If you have questions, those have to go in the chat. Also, for those of you that have been watching from the beginning, I put a Google Doc link in the comments on YouTube. I actually need your help on this. Join that doc, if you will. It's completely empty right now, but what I'm doing is I need help. If there's a good tidbit that you saw in this show, make note of where it is on the show. So you get what I'm getting here. On YouTube, you have those little things at the bottom. I call them, I'm getting ready to say captions, but that's not it. The shortcuts, the different parts of the video that have good, useful information. I made that Google Doc for you to put in notes, as well as me to put in notes about where the good stuff was. So, usually after a stream like this, I may go 2-3 hours. I don't know. There's a lot of good information in there from various people, not just me. But you have to go back through the video and put all those time hacks in. I need your help collecting those. So at any point in time, if I'm 10 minutes and 15 seconds in and I say something brilliant, do me a favor, hop into that document I shared in the comments and put in 01:15 or whatever the time hack is, and the thing that we said there. And that way, when I will take all those notes later, in addition to my going back and scrubbing the video, and put those in the YouTube comments, which means it's going to make it very easy to jump around this video. So right now we're kind of in the intro phase. So I'll probably put one in there that says 00:01 intro phase. Okay. Again, for those of you who have no idea who I am and you're tuning in late, my name is Patrick Allman. I run a marketing agency here in Oklahoma City. And we're going to run through some things. But at the same time, I'm going to pull up some questions from different areas, and I'll share my screen to see kind of what's on people's mind, what's on their mind for marketing today, what kind of problems are we having? What kind of questions can I get answered? So while we're working on that, I'm going to cover some very basic, some intro kind of basics things here, okay? And I am going to see anyone. Let's see, is anyone in the document? Yeah, good. I got some people in the document helping me keep track of time notes. So some very basic things I wanted to cover are first of all, kind of a new project I have going on, which is going to help the high level community. And I'm looking for people to basically participate and add to this here. So let's get a screen share going for you. And when I do have my screen shared, please make sure you leave something in the comments so I know that it is sharing okay. So let's come over here. Oh, we got to switch scenes. All this video stuff, you got scenes, right? We got to find the right scene. So let's find the list of scenes first of all, because this is that right now my tech is not behaving with me. So there we go. Okay, so there's all the scenes, and there's a scene here. There's a screen share scene for you guys. Let me see, is this the screen share scene? Is that the screen share scene? That should be the screen share scene. Cool, let me know if you guys are seeing my screen okay. And let's move Patrick down over here in the lower corner, because you always got to have some Patrick in your day, right? Let's move Patrick down here in the lower right corner, and let me know if that screen share is working okay. And again, for those of you that have never tuned in and you randomly got here, what you're seeing on your screen here is a tool that we highly recommend and that we customize for people. It's called the Highlevel CRM. I call it the Playmakers. Hey, thanks, Carrie. I call it the Playmakers AI system is what I call it. The Playmakers platform. There's various names for it. Let's call it the Playmakers platform. And what you're seeing here is a test or training instance here. And the reason I bring this up is because if you are somebody who's coming in from that world and you run an agency, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of having a test/training snapshot. Okay. Again, this is for my agency people, not for my high level chapters. Thank you, Keith. Chapters. That's what I'm talking about. So in this document, in that Google Doc I shared, I need some help with some chapter markers if I say something brilliant. I could go 3 hours and say nothing brilliant at all. So that may be an empty document by the end of the day. But what this is this is a tool that helps you organize your business, generate your leads, helps you build content, it helps you manage your social media. You can build websites, you can build funnels, you can build webinars, you can take orders, you can do e-commerce. There's just a plethora of things that we're going to walk through, which it does. And this is stuff that we sell this to people every single day, and it just changes lives. So if you're a person that's, an Infusionsoft person or a Keep person or somebody who has a hodgepodge of tools, you got to talk to me. I can make your life cheaper, and I can make your life easier, and I can make your life more organized, okay? There we go. That may be the only sales pitch I do during this entire thing. Okay, what did I want to get into? A couple of things. First of all, what I'm going to talk about a little bit is a new project I have going on, and I'm looking for editors for people to kind of help build this in exchange for some social currency themselves, not money making, I promise. And then I want to talk about some of the recent changes in the tool, and we'll pull up the change log because there's been a recent change, and there's been several recent changes, but I really like to cover the significant ones because sometimes I think that people don't realize the marketing benefit they get out of the Playmakers platform. And we're going to talk about that today. But some of the recent changes, there's a lot of small software changes that'll make your marketing life easier, but every now and then there's a big one, and there was a big one recently, which I'm really excited about. Okay, share my screen. What we're going to talk about first of all is my little side project. We all have little side projects that are fun, right? This is my side project. And you can give it whatever name you want. A while back, I bought a domain called Marketing Automation Cookbook. Okay, Marketing Automation Cookbook. And my goal for that domain was to build up a knowledge base kind of wiki of all the brilliance that I see from different people. Okay, not just me. And the challenge is we all run our lives on Facebook. Okay, we all run our lives on Facebook and Facebook groups. Whether you have when you have a printer, okay, you go to the Facebook group for the printer and you post questions and you get all kinds of good information. Now, your neighborhood has a Facebook group, right? This company and this tool, Highlevel CRM, has a Facebook group, and a lot of people post really great knowledge in there. But the challenge with Facebook groups is knowledge and information and things that are shared, they decay. So if somebody posts something brilliant today, in a week, in a month, that information will still be there, but it'll be very buried. It'll be on Facebook's platform. You may not even be able to find it because the search sucks and blows at the same time. Um, so I've always liked the idea of taking social media information and putting it off in another platform that's a little bit more organized. And so this is my I've tried this once before, but this is my latest attempt at this, and I'm kind of setting this up in a way for it to scale for my friends. And so this is my new project. It runs at marketingautomationcookbook.com, and you can go there right now and see it. And what this here is going to start off to be. It's going to grow into something more, but it's starting off as a place for me to collect and dump really good information about the Playmakers platform slash high level platform. Okay, those two names are going to be synonymous here. And so what I've done recently is I connected this domain to a WordPress site. Get off my ass if you know I'm just very anti WordPress, but some things are appropriate for WordPress. Okay, just can't do this inside the high level tool yet. But what I did is this is a very simple WordPress install with a wiki piece of software. Wiki being like Wikipedia, like the Wikipedia that we use every single day. You can set up your own wikis. And so that's what I've done here with this. And so this week, I was kind of loading it up with some very basic information. And what I'm going to do eventually is, like all good things, is this needs multiple editors. This needs multiple people to manage it. So, obviously text us at the number that floats around at the bottom of the screen, or reach out to me somehow on social media. If you really want to get a hold of me, you know how to. But my goal with this is to just start collecting some of the knowledge, some of the industry knowledge, and things that we want to save. Is my microphone okay, everybody? I got some complaints yesterday that my microphone was really quiet, and I don't know what that is. But let me know if the audio is okay. Okay. So what you see here is when I was building this week, I kind of have a start here page, and the start here page, I was kind of figuring out on the left-hand side how I'm going to lay this out. And I thought it would be good to have a start here section, maybe a marketing 101 section, and then to go into some details here. Thanks, Carrie. About these different areas, okay? So what you're going to see here so far is a very basic start here section. This is a list of resources, and this is some area where I definitely need help, is resources of where all this great information is that we need. And so I have official company high level information here at the top. By the way, it's just, let's get this disclaimer out of the way. This is not a project endorsed by the company high level. They did not create it. They have no idea. Well, they probably have some idea about it because I'm here talking about it. But this is completely separate. This is a stop doing nothing project right here. Okay. So I've got some official links here, and then some third-party links here, and then I'm going to start, all the different YouTube channels out there. In addition to mine, I'm going to have listed here. So if you've got any ideas here, some resources we should put in, let me know. I tried to find all the high-level resources I use on a regular basis and keep them here at the top. From there, I thought it would be really good to have a case study section. And, at the end of the year, people love to brag about how well they did with high level, which is really cool to see. It's motivating for a lot of people to see how well people are doing when it comes to their marketing. And just so you know, my goal for this is to actually be somewhat platform agnostic, not just high level, but incorporate information from other CRMs also. Because at the end of the day, it's not platform A versus platform B. There's plenty of work out there for the hammer, and there's plenty of work out there for the screwdriver. Okay, so we don't need to be mutually exclusive. But the first case study here was one that was the top of my head, was by a gentleman named Jonathan Montoya here. And if you go here to his page, what my goal with the format of this is to, number one, is to obviously have the person's title up here. By the way, this is not my content. This is all Jonathan Montoya's content. I have the link to the Facebook post here. I have a video that he created, and then I have the entire text of his post. Now, some people may say, well, Patrick, you're using other people's content to populate your website. Well, number one, you're 100% right. I ain't lying. I am 100% using somebody else's content. But one, this content would normally be buried in Facebook, so I don't feel that bad sucking it out and putting it here. Number two, I actually am talking with Jonathan Montoya, and I told him that I was putting this here. Okay, I linked back to the his video on his YouTube channel, the actual post here, as long as that post stays up, and then it's the text of all his stuff here. And then for those of you that have a YouTube channel, I'm trying to give you some love. So what I did with Jonathan Montoya is right here, if you see, and then right down here someplace else, I actually use his affiliate link there. So this is not going to be strictly a promotional Patrick platform. This is for me to promote other people also. So if you've got other affiliate links or things like that in there, and you know somebody who's putting out good content, let me know and we'll get him in there. Under useful Facebook conversations, my goal here, looks like I don't have anything in yet. Is to basically, when there are useful Facebook conversations, to link to them and also pull out the text here. Again, my goal with a lot of this is to basically get some of the text off social media and keeping it someplace static as a knowledge base for all of us to learn from. Okay. CSS code snippets. That one's kind of obvious right here. Is I have often my ClickUp account, which is where we manage our projects here at Stop Doing Nothing, is I have kind of a nice to know information, an NTICKY file. A friend of mine, a dear friend of mine who has since passed, taught me this phrase a while back. He called it an NTICKY. And it's just, a file you keep on your computer. Some of you call it a swipe file, things like that. Just like good informational tidbits to have. He called it an NTICKY, N-T-K-I, an NTICKY file. And I still use that phrase, but this is just nice to know information right here. And then from there, I'm starting to build up a little bit more content here and there. I'm going to have articles here like 101 articles. Let's go back to the start here. This is going to have a search page. The search here is going to work better than any Facebook search. I've already tried it. This has an AI built in, so this content's also getting indexed by an AI, and we're going to be able to ask that, do queries there for that. So this is a project I'm working on. If you want to help with this, like I said, because any wiki is going to require knowledge, various people to work on it. If this is something you're interested in working on, let me know and I'll get you an ID. And of course, you can link to your own stuff, but I just need help getting content to other people also, okay? So let's jump into a little bit, before we get into the changes, let's jump into, the Facebook group a little bit and see what kind of questions we have going on here that we can cover today. Okay, I already saw one here, and I'm going to go through some of the recent ones that have not been answered. Want to talk PHP and go high level? No, thank you very much. I do not want to talk PHP. I'm trying to get away from being a developer, and that's just something I am not interested in. I could probably be decent at the topic, but just not really great at it. So there was a question here that let me see if I can find it. And let me see if I can find it. There's a question here already. And are you using that field to manage Facebook group? No. Bear with me here. I didn't do as good a data collection as I should have ahead of time. Oh goodness, I already lost the question. God dag nabbit, I had it all saved and the tech is being tech on me. Okay, so let's see what easy questions we can knock out here. Okay, here's one that's just posted by a lady named Braca Brandy Rosenblum. I need to add 500 companies to my contacts. Well, companies and contacts, we got to keep those distinct. Including company name, website, description, city, and I have 500 individual contacts to add to the companies. There are no book upload for companies. Well, at some point in time, when someone says that, you got to put the brakes on right there. They are built-in fields, business website, and I have to add each one manually. And you have a workaround for this, perhaps with a workflow. You know what? First of all, can somebody post the link to the show to that question there so we can answer this lady's question live? And let's pull that. So again, I need to add 500 companies. So what the person's referring to, and this is going to be a good segue into another topic I want to talk about, is this person, has a series of, in this tool, you have a series of contacts, okay? And for each contact, a contact has a company. And what happened, okay, again, we're going to segue into a different section of the show here prematurely. is that this lady wants to add a bunch of companies into this tool, and it's just not possible yet. Okay, for those of you who have done any kind of enterprise sales experience, you know that some of the bigger tools out there. You know what? I'm going to go back to full screen, Patrick, for a minute. Let's find the right scene for that. Let me see. All the windows. Must have all the windows open, right, Patrick? Must have all the windows open. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, for those of you that use bigger kind of enterprise CRMs here, um, one of the big features we've been lacking in the Playmakers platform is the ability to manage companies at scale, okay? And manage companies or accounts. And this became, a lot of people that are using some of the bigger enterprise CRMs, the Salesforces, the HubSpots of the world, are used to the ability to basically have accounts. And under accounts, which is your main starting point, you have contacts. The way Highlevel initially set it up, Playmakers platform initially set it up, is that the contact was your main thing, and then a contact could kind of have a company thing in the background. But as we progress and as we grow this and as we make the Playmakers platform available to more people in more areas, we need to manage at the account level. So a very cool recent change, and that's what this question is about, is the fact that we can do that now, is we can manage companies here. And can somebody put a time hack for this as we talk about companies? It looks like we are how many minutes in? We are 26:35, about is what it looks like. So we're going to talk about companies for a little bit, okay? So coming back over here to my screen share. Do I have the rap video saved here? Did I not play the rap video? Where's the rap video? Oh, I don't have the rap video saved. Doggone it. So here we go. Back in the CRM. Okay, I'm off all over the place. If you notice inside the CRM now, again, did somebody make a time hack? Here we go. Thank you, Anonymous Coyote, whoever the Anonymous Coyote is. So they have this cool new feature here called Company, and this is was introduced, I believe it was this week, and before there was another company option up here, but this one's brand new. So what you're seeing now is you can have the ability at an enterprise level to manage companies. And number one, let's make sure I've got the feature on, okay? Let's make sure I've got the new one. So down here in settings and labs, let's make sure I'm using the new one. Oh, good. Look at that. I wasn't even using the new one yet. Patrick sucks. Patrick blew that one, didn't he? Okay, let's go back here now. And let's go back to contacts. Let's go back to company. And am I using the new interface now? Yeah, I believe I'm using the new interface now is what it is. Let's go. Let's drill down into one. Yep, I'm using the new interface now. It kind of works, a little bit differently. So this is a new feature. Oh, hey, Carrie, that's you. Very cool. Thanks. You would see what's Carrie? What's my nickname for Carrie today? My nickname for Carrie today is Anonymous Coyote. Anonymous Coyote. I'm gonna get you a T-shirt for that. Okay, Carrie, an Anonymous Coyote T-shirt. So just through using the product or not, I can tell this is a new interface. And number one, what this is, and the reason we have this now is, I'm going to answer this lady's question here shortly. The reason we have this now is because for those of you who has been on the Playmakers platform for a little bit, and if you haven't, I need to get you on there, is that we're slowly standardizing the objects or the data that we manage inside the tool. And the first one they did was contacts. And as you know, we can build custom objects here to manage custom data types, but companies they've added here now. And what you're going to have here under standard objects inside the Playmakers platform eventually is, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not a developer. I have no special insider knowledge, but eventually all of this, let's not say all of, most of these standard objects that we work with to manage our business on a day-to-day basis, I'm thinking will be up here. Companies, contacts, and probably opportunities at some point in time. Again, I don't know, but I'm fairly certain the way we go. This companies one was added this week, okay? And what it's going to allow us to do now is over here, contacts and companies, to basically manage companies at a high level, no pun intended, as they are related to contacts. So, by default, a company has a relation to a contact, but you're going to be able to manage companies a lot better, like the way you're used to them in a hey Sarah, Sarah? Hey, Sarah, good to have you. Good to have you, sister. Um, you're going to be able to manage them the way that we're used to in the enterprise CRMs, okay? Where basically, you're going to be able to set up a series of companies slash accounts slash families. You hear a lot of this in people that want to use the Playmakers platform to manage families, like in a medical practice or like a dental practice, something like that. I don't know about you guys, but man, my skin is dry these days. Okay, we're going to be able to do some cool things like that. The challenge is, and this is going to be in reference to this lady's question right here, is um, whenever a software platform, a series of changes gets rolled out to a software platform, man, we want it to do everything from day one. We really do. And ever since this feature has been rolled out, people are like, can I do this? 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 We should be used to now that the Playmakers platform, um, software changes get rolled out in little itty bitty pieces. So the answer to this lady's question here is, you know what? It can't be done. You cannot import mass companies yet. Will you be able to? Yes, I am 100% sure you will be able to. Can you connect here and do something magical with APIs? I don't believe so yet. Okay, custom objects don't have API endpoints yet. I don't believe this new company object has API endpoints yet. So there's nothing here we can do yet when it comes to mass importing. This is one of like 20 baby steps to get us to perfect company management. But we just got step 1 or 2 this week, okay? You can't do this yet. I'm sorry, Brocky, Brandy, Rosenblum. You can't do that yet, but you will be able to. You will be able to. I am like 95% sure because the developers for the Playmakers platform are just brilliant, okay? Let me see. That's AI. We're not going to talk about that topic. I want to find. Let me see. I saw some things in here that. Um, oh, this is an interesting one, and we're going to answer this one live. Somebody was asking. What? So someone had a question. Would be awesome. Kevin Dubois. I'm going to assume his name is Dubois. It's spelled D-U capital B-O-U-S-C. Dubois. Dubois. I'll use the classy one. Dubois. Would be awesome if we could get a trigger for when they DM you a keyword. Okay, the cool part about Highlevel is, and I would encourage you to do this because I just had to set this up for a client also, is our world is revolving a lot around these days around the short communication methods, the text messages, the WhatsApp messages, the Facebook DMs, things like that. And this person was asking how to basically trigger when somebody DMs you on a platform. In this particular case, it was Instagram. And the solution to that is, I just want to show you this live. So for those of you that already know how to do this kind of stuff, apologize, but we got to show the basics to the basics. Also, we got to show the basics to people that don't know them. So if you ever want to reply, here's a good example. Perfect. If you ever want to handle somebody replying to your marketing or somebody commenting on your marketing, and where this really comes in handy is people that are inquiring for information. Okay, you have a website, okay, up and running 24/7. People are coming there and they want to know information. Okay, and if you don't answer fast, be either manually or automatically, there's a good chance you're going to lose that client. Okay. We are living in a time in January 2025 where people have zero patience and they have zero time. And if this is not everybody, but a lot of people that are out there shopping for what you're selling, if you're not replying instantaneously, and it used to be, 10 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that these days has shortened up dramatically. Not saying you won't still get clients. Let's go back to 100%, Patrick. There we go. Come on. We got a lot of screens to rearrange. Here we go. Let's go back to 100%, Patrick. If you can't reply in a timely manner, then there's a chance you're going to lose business. So you need to be finding ways. And if you don't have it on the current platform, reach out to me and we'll get you set up on Playmakers. But you need to be able to find a way on various channels. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at that. Charles Higgins coming in with the win. See? This is how fast things move here. Charles is one of the people that you really need to follow his YouTube channel also. This guy puts out some brilliant stuff and he always comes in for the win. So Mr. Charles Higgins from Pinnacle AI, a company you should be following, says you can't create and update companies via API. I didn't know that. I thought I had checked and I hadn't seen that. So egg on Patrick's face. So can somebody put a time hack here about how the correct answer to companies or how you update companies? This is what we need to do. Put a time hack here, anonymous, whoever, about 35, that you actually, how to update companies right now if you need to. So thank you, Charles. I didn't realize. I swear I scanned the docs. I was looking for companies, but it's business. Okay, so you already figured out you can. Thank you, as always, Charles, coming in for the win. This is why I love to have other smart people on here. So according to Charles, you can. Very, very cool. Okay, getting back to what I was talking about. If you aren't replying to messages fast, text messages, emails, live chats, AI chats, whatever you want to call them, there's a good chance you're going to miss out on business. And so, what this person was asking here was how to reply if they get a keyword on Instagram. Okay, and let's share my screen again and talk about that. So, what it is inside the Playmakers platform, what you can do is when people are replying to you on various channels, you can handle that. And I had to do this recently. I had to do this for a client who's in the nursing field, and she gets people. Oh goodness gracious, Charles, that really screws people up. There are two endpoints: business and companies. You want to use business even because the company is the old one, right? Gotcha. We got to get those docs fixed as soon as possible. But the way you would do this, what this person is talking about on any channel, is this is a trigger inside of your Playmakers platform, customer reply trigger. And this works for different platforms, not just email, not just text. So if you're seeing here, when you want to handle an inbound communication, these are all the ways you can handle them, okay? You can reply, you can handle it when somebody texts a word SMS into your company. You can reply when somebody replies via the chat widget or via Instagram DM or via WhatsApp. It's called the customer replied trigger, okay? And to me, it can be a little bit misleading because customer reply trigger assumes when you think about reply, you think about you did some communication outreach and the person replied to you. But this is also the trigger that you use for a initial message. And I'll give you a very good example. I had a nursing client recently who gets a lot of inbound leads via text message. And I was in her Highlevel account watching the inbound SMSs come in, and they were just flying in fast and furious. I'm interested in being an LPN. I'm interested in CNA. I'm interested in RN. I'm interested in this CPR. They were just coming, and she was manually answering them fast. But the key thing is they all had the word interested in them. So what I did is I created a trigger for this, and we did it on SMS is what I believe we did here. And then what I did is I caught the word interested. And this is how you would do that. But for this person's question right here, if this is a Facebook DM, meaning somebody was running a Facebook marketing campaign, an Instagram marketing campaign, and they wanted people to DM them cookie to get whatever it is, they can come here to Instagram DM and say cookie. Okay? And that means anyone that replied to that would kick off this workflow. Okay? Now, what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to take advantage of this to kind of show you some best practices when it comes to building workflows. Time hack 3840. So here's some best practices when it comes to building up workflows. Number one, let's give this a name. Okay, automation. I call mine the first two letters of the type of object it is, and then I give it a number. Okay, we can use this one. I bet you I don't have a 50. And handle Instagram DMs. Okay, I tend to do things in all lowercase, so I don't have any camel case confusion here. So I'll name that. And if you're building your very first automation, I'm going to give you some of my best practices here. Carrie, Charles, everybody else, Keith, anybody else who's watching, please, if you're not on YouTube watching and first of all, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, shame on you. You want to be you want to be all up in my YouTube channel, okay? So subscribe so we can get your name popped up, a little chime pop on the screen. But please feel free to jump in with some other workflow best practices, okay? And again, well, first of all, let's make sure over here in this one we don't have any other questions yet, because I sometimes get questions. Um, okay, so nothing good. No questions here. Uh, oh, Keith's tagging me all over the place. Keith, thank you very much. I see that. Okay, so here's what I like to do when I like to build a workflow. And these are the things where if I had a model workflow that I could use, like a workflow template, this is what I would use every single time. Okay, I would use every single time. Hold on, I'm just checking all my channels here, making sure I'm getting all questions answered. Okay, no, that's the PHP conversation. Okay, so here are the first things I do all of the time when it comes to building an automation. First of all, I like to always assign something to users. Okay, so from the get-go, I like to assign contacts to users. I think it's very important that every contact inside the Playmakers platform be assigned to somebody. Okay, and the reason this is because what, how, who, what, how somebody is associated with somebody else, and the name, the outgoing name and email address, you want that to kind of be a variable, because it's very possible someday you may have a sales force of 20 people and this contact may move around. So it's just always good practices, in my opinion, to keep your data clean, to always have a contact assigned to a person. Okay, we're going to use the Patrick Salesman one here. Okay, and of course you can do all kinds of, you can put in various users. You can only assign contacts to users who don't have somebody here. But I always like to, one of my very first steps, to do that here, okay? And then, first of all, as you're building an automation, please make sure you save early, save often. And let's zoom in a little bit here, okay? We got some tech. We can do all kinds of cool stuff here, okay? So assign to user is something I always like to build when it comes to workflow best practices. Is Carrie helping me out? Look at this. Carrie's sister's helping me out. Sister's helping me out right there with the time hacks. And Charles, I know you're tuning in late, but I have a time hack document here going that we're putting in notes in. So I'm going to put this link back in the chat here for everyone to access if they want it. Thank you, Carrie, for staying on top of that here. And then something else I like to do after a person is assigned is I like to leave a note. And this is something that I'm just such a huge fan of. Again, I'm just kind of sharing with you, when people hire us to do this for them, the things that we build up for them. The note, Highlevel does a very good job of logging. Highlevel does a very good job of logging what's going on. However, sometimes the logs are in different places. You have to go hunt them out. I have found that by using my own note-taking process on top of every single automation, that I get a beautiful history, and it's all in one place. So I will do a note. I will do a automation, because right there. So what that is, if you notice, is that is where this note came from, or what automation this person was in. So what does that do? Is inside your notes, it tells you exactly when somebody entered an automation. Okay, and which automation they came from. Oftentimes inside of our contacts, things get updated, contacts get moved around and opportunities, and we don't know where it came from. Yes, you could look down in automations in the lower left-hand corner right there, but again, I'm trying to get everything into notes. So in notes, I would put here, what was the trigger here? Let's go back. What was the triggering action? Customer reply, Instagram cookie. Okay, so I would put here in my note, customer DM'd cookie on Instagram. Okay, right there, all lowercase. Okay, and again, this just appears in the contact notes, so we know, looking back in history, what things affected this contact and forced them to do something that they do right here. And then, you know what, I like to have fun with this stuff, and I saw somebody else doing this once, and they were doing this cool thing here, where they were including like a little visual cue as to what was going on. So on my Mac, I would type, this is what I'm doing these days, type in cookie, looking up the emoji for cookie, and putting like a little cool cookie emoji there, right? I don't know how easy that is to do on Windows, but on the Mac, it's incredibly easy to do. And what it does is just when you're back looking at the history, it just gives you, a cute little thing to look at. Not required. You do not have to put cookies in your comments. So save. I like to publish right out of the gate, to tell you the truth. I don't even know why there's a draft Well, I guess I didn't know why there was a draft there, but I very rarely have things in draft mode. If I'm working on them, I'm going to work on them until they're somewhat functional and then deploy them. Okay, my biggest pet peeve, using descriptive naming on triggers and actions. Use descriptive naming on triggers and actions. Okay, my biggest pet peeve, use descriptive naming on triggers and actions. Okay, so yeah, okay, here we go. Charles is right. Let's behave here. Customer, so let's make sure that we do document this correctly. Thank you, Charles. Customer sent in cookie via Instagram. Charles reminded me, I gotta do all my best practices here. So there we go. Assign to user is pretty good. Note to me is pretty good. We could always say something note, where note the automation we are in, maybe. I don't know. To me, note for something like this is pretty easy. And then let me see. Oh, and then oftentimes I like to tag. So, I will, and don't pay attention to my tagging namings here. This is my test account. But oftentimes for a tag, I will use something like, let me see, if this is a lead gen, or you know what? Oh, look, I even have Carrie's name in here. For me, the way I would normally do it, I would probably do something like, I don't know. Let me see. What would you name this Charles tag? I would probably say something, maybe Instagram. Okay. I came from the world of Infusionsoft, which had tag categories. And so what I like to do is I like to have a category dash what I want to save. Okay. So in my ideal world, I'd probably have several different lead types here right now. I will just say lead Instagram cookie message for now. Okay. And let me see, there was something else I was going to do here that was also a best practice that I like here. It was, lead source. Here we go. So lead source is different from UTM information. So something else that we get hired a lot to do is basically help people set up attribution. And one of the ways, I'm going to pause here for a second. Goodness gracious, there it is right in front of me. One of the ways you set up attribution in the world of digital marketing is you use UTMs coming into a contact, right? But also you have to be very careful about and make sure that you're organized to manage your lead sources inside of a contact. So what I would do here is I would update lead source probably, and I would update my, where is it? It should be right there towards the top, right? Contact source, here we go. And I would say maybe cookie, Instagram cookie right here, okay? Save action, save. So these four things, assigning it to a user, adding a note, tagging the person, and updating the lead source, to me, are some of the things that you are going to do in every single automation, okay? Every single automation. You probably won't do the updating the lead source for any automations that are more like maintenance or update automations. This is an automation to handle a cold inbound message, okay? So I want to assign it to a user. I want to do all this stuff here, okay, as a result of a cold message in. And then from there, you can kind of branch off as to what you do. You may do some more tagging, you may do some math, you may shoot them an email, you'll probably reply back with another Instagram message. So let's do that. And this kind of may not be connected to Instagram, so I may not be able to send that here. Instagram interactive messenger is what I believe we want here. And so got your cookie message. Here is the information you requested. And you know what? Let's get fancy. I don't think Charles has seen this yet. My cool little kind of high-level wiki project I'm dabbling in right here. So let's say somebody DM'd Cookie because they want access to the marketing automation cookbook, right? And I could put that link right in there. Did I get that link? There we go. Marketing automation cookbook. Okay. Save. Please, whenever you whenever you make a change to an automation, come up here in the upper right-hand corner and click save, okay? So many people, this happens on Mac because we can swipe 100 different ways. I've seen more than once about people working on a giant long automation, and on a Mac, they come in here and they accidentally, use like the two finger swipe or the three finger swipe and like hit basically causes the browser to go back or causes the browser window to shut down. And people have lost hours of work, and they have blamed the Playmakers platform, for not having an auto save here. And I'm like, what happened to being an adult and just saving your freaking work when you were done? Okay. So let me know what you think about that. But yeah, I think that, whenever I in a step and I back out, obviously you have to save the changes on that step, but I always go here to the upper right-hand corner and save it. So if you're watching live and you've got some other best practices that you do on every single automation, let me know. But these three or four here at the top are ones that I know that are just, no pun intended, but cookie cutter, that I would just do at the top of every single automation. These first two, 100% for sure. Let's get this right. These first two, 100% for sure. Assign to user, note the automation we were in. Actually, here's how I would do it. Is I would probably say this one, the note. Let's move that one up here because that one is 100% sure. This one is probably an S, 70, 80% sure that I would do that because I don't want to do an assign to user if somebody already has a user. So that one may be optional depending on what I'm doing. The tagging is very likely, but could be optional. And updating the lead source, you're only going to do that on when a lead initially comes in, okay? So these are just some best practices here. Again, the naming convention I like here at the top. Yeah, wish there was a feature to toggle autosave on off for workflows. Yeah, that would be nice. It really would be. But whenever there's a red, whether I'm editing a web page or a funnel or anything, and when there's a red dot here in the upper right-hand corner, that screams to me to save that shiz. So we're going to save that shiz. But yeah, I'd be okay with autosave if you would also. Uh-oh. I'm done with the hard stuff. Time to go to water. Time to go to water. Hey, if you are watching, here we go. I'm going to make an offer to you. If you are watching and you would like a coffee cup, if you are looking for something new and interesting and different, I take that back. It's not interesting at all. It's white. Okay? It's a white coffee cup. White there. Okay? And white there. I made up about 20 of these a while back and I stopped pimping them out. Okay? If you want one, either text me or DM me. I may ask you to pay for shipping, but I want to get these shipped out. I want to get rid of these, okay? There are newer, bigger, and better options for coffee. So if you want a cool Stop Doing Nothing coffee cup, DM me and I'll talk to you about how to get me, $5 for shipping or whatever it is, okay? I'm not selling them. I just want some people to pay for shipping so I can get these out and about in the world. Okay, so let's look at some other recent changes or questions that are coming up that we can answer for people, okay? Let's go back to full 100% screen Patrick here, and let's look what is on people's, let's look at what is on people's mind. What questions can we answer? So we know that we can't do a mass import for, as a matter of fact, we know we cannot do a mass import for this yet. So we have no solution for that yet. Voice, yeah, AI is crushing it. If you haven't done so yet, look at the post on my Facebook profile where I talked about AI recently. Just a little bit of not necessarily a danger of AI, but something that we as techies need to be aware of as we are using AI more and more and more. It's not an AI diss; it's just kind of an AI reality check. And I put that up on a Facebook post on my profile recently. It would not hurt to read that, please. Let's see. Can you talk about remarketing and how you would do the campaigns? Ooh, good question. Talking about it now. Okay, let's talk about remarketing. And by the way, Charles, I want your comments on this, and Carrie too. I know the two of you are in there. So what Bonnie Lucas is saying here. So here's the question, okay? And this is important for everybody, okay? If you're in the digital marketing space and you want to scale, we're going to talk about remarketing for a little bit, okay? So the question here from a Bonnie Lucas is can you talk about remarketing and how you would do the campaign? Okay, by campaign, I'm assuming she's talking about like the Facebook/Google campaign. Okay, so first of all, let's define what we're talking about. Remarketing/retargeting. That's the thing on the internet where you think the companies are following you around and they're listening to your voice. Okay, basically what it is remarketing is you putting some special code on your website so that other platforms out there, and there's a plethora of them, it's not just Facebook or Google, can keep track of your visits, know what you are interested in to a point, and then have the ability to show you ads on other platforms based on your interests on platforms A, B, or C. And you see this a lot when you go shopping for something and all of a sudden you pop back over to Facebook or you pop back over to your favorite sports sites and what the heck? I like to use the red shoes example. What the heck? I was over shopping on Amazon for red shoes, and now I'm over here on Drudge Report or my favorite news website. I'm getting an ad for what I was shopping on Amazon. Oh my goodness, Amazon must be listening to me, right? Ugh. Ugh. You know, one of my pet peeves. Charles in the chat put in one of his pet peeves. One of my pet peeves is when people talk about they think technology is doing things that it's just not doing. And oftentimes people mistake remarketing for their devices listening to them. And this is hilarious. And I've just seen this time and time again. But all remarketing is just you getting ads for things you've looked at in the past. And big giant stores can use this. Oh, by the way, this would be a good time to talk about a time hack. You know what, Carrie, you probably got this, but time hack was probably like 55 minutes or something like that. But what remarketing is just showing you ads. Okay, just showing you ads based on things you've visited in the past. Okay, and let's say Bonnie Lucas is wanting to know how would you do this. Well, what I would do, number one, is I would make sure that the pixel or the little piece of device code is on every single website. Okay, so whenever we get a new client and they want to do ads, one of the first things that we do is we put various pieces of little code on their website. One of them being a Facebook pixel, another one being the Google pixel, possibly even the ad roll pixel. Okay, there's various pixels you can put on these different platforms. Possibly I don't know if QuantCast is a thing anymore. But that's one of the first things we do, especially if your website or if the company's website gets a lot of traffic. And this is really important for those of you that get a lot of traffic, is to drop these pixels on your websites as soon as possible. Okay. By the way, we're totally skipping over the Facebook is spying on me thing. Okay. We're just talking about getting pixels on the websites. So that's step one, Bonnie. Is number one, get these pixels on your websites as soon as possible. They're free. And you don't want to wait until you're ready to do remarketing or until you're ready to have a ton of traffic. Um, yes, I saw that, Carrie. Remind me of that. Remind me of that later. Goodness, where was I going? Oh, basically, if you have a website that's getting any amount of traffic at all, you want to get these retargeting pixels on there because these are things that can build up over time, okay? So step one, get the retargeting pixel on your website. You can do it directly or via Google Tag Manager. Google Tag Manager is just a really cool way to manage all those little bits of code you put on your website. That's step one, okay? Step two is I would make sure that server-side tracking is on your website also, okay? For a while there, we were living in cookie doom and gloom or cookie Armageddon, right? Google was talking about getting rid of cookies, which means everybody was going to probably go to a cookieless world, and then that kind of backed off a little bit. But if you're somebody who really is deep in digital marketing and you want to do it right, I'm not going to cover it here. Look at not only tracking with a pixel, your Facebook traffic. This is specifically Facebook. Also look at using the server side, or what's known as CAPI, okay? Where you basically take your pixel ID and your token and you put it inside your Playmakers funnels, okay? And you can do that for WordPress also, okay? So basically step one is all about the setup, okay? There's no sense in worrying about remarketing, getting things back to your website if your setup isn't correct, okay? The next thing I would do, and let me see if I can pull up an example here for you, is create an audience, okay? And I don't have any good examples for this, but because I wasn't prepared to talk about this for screenshots. But inside these ad platforms, every ad platform, there's a place to set up an audience. So once you have that Google pixel on your website or whatever pixel is on your website, you can go back to that platform where you can set up an audience. Maybe you want an audience to be everybody that visited your website. Maybe you want the audience to be people who visited the cookie website where you're selling a special cookie. Let's say your 17-inch chocolate chip cookie was the hottest seller on your website. You want to make sure that you create an audience of people browsing that 17-inch. How big would that be? 17 inches? That'd be a big cookie, right? You want to track people that are shopping for that because you want to display ads about big giant 17-inch cookies later. Okay. So you want to make sure that you start building up these audiences. So after I put the Facebook pixel on my website, and trust me, Bonnie, I'm going someplace. Okay, there's just some steps that you got to do along the way. After I had that pixel on my website, what I would then do is go over to my Facebook ad platform and create an audience. And the audience is just people who have visited patrickallman.com/17-inch cookie. Okay, so and that audience, because then you can target that audience. Okay, or you can use that audience to exclude. That's the really cool thing is you can use audiences to exclude displaying certain ads to people. So let's say you want to target people who have visited the homepage of your cookie website, but you don't want to target the people who have visited the 17-inch cookie page of the website, okay? You can say, I want to target audience A, but at audience A, exclude the people in audience B, okay? You can do all kinds of cool things. Again, could be a whole nother stream by itself, okay? And then once you do that, then you can get into the fun stuff, the ads, okay? And the ads are just basically you going onto these ad platforms and saying, I'm going to create an ad and I'm going to target that audience. And again, I don't have any practical examples pulled up here because I know this question ahead of time. But you can then go into an ad platform and you can say, I want to target everyone who has been interested in the 17-inch cookies. And you show them the videos and the images. You do all the regular ad stuff right there, okay? Something else I would suggest you do is for the Playmakers platform / Highlevel platform, make sure you read the best practices of getting that information back to Highlevel, okay? Back to the platform. And I'm pulling up the, let's see, Facebook ad tracking. Let's pull up the help page for this here, okay? Let's pull this up. Then this may interest, this is a link I sent to a lot of people here. Okay, let's come back over here to screen share mode. And what this is on the Playmakers platform is there's an article here which we need to, I will drop this in the comments here also. I'll drop that in the comments. You have an article here that talks about how to make sure you set up your ads to get people back here, okay? And this is important because a lot of people that are coming from other platforms, non-Playmakers, non-Highlevel, they're used to doing Facebook ads and Google ads a certain way, which don't get the attribution information into the CRM. And for those of you, again, who are not quite sure what the word attribution means, what's that mean is just tracking where your customers are coming from and in turn, where your sales are coming from, okay? That's all we're talking about here. So if you're going to get into remarketing, on Facebook, please make sure you read this article right here. And the important thing for this is right down here. This is really cool. This is super nerdy stuff right here. Right down here, when you're tracking the information coming back from a platform to your business, you want to fill out this information here. And what this is doing here is this is taking all the details of your advertising and sending it back to your leads to associate it with your leads, okay? Every contact inside your CRM has data about where it came from, okay? And you want to save that information because it's going to show you on the other end, where's my money coming from? Where am I, having the most profit? Where am I getting the good leads from? Okay. Because all this information is stored at the contact level inside your database. And if this sounds like I'm talking something very high level, no pun intended, very techie, just set this up once or have a techie set this up for you once. And then from that point forward, it'll work every single time. But in a roundabout way, we are getting to the answer of Bonnie's question, which is, if you were setting up a remarketing campaign on Facebook, the campaign name would probably be something remarketing, or the campaign medium, or the campaign content. Someplace in your ad setup, you would have the word retargeting or remarketing because you get to make up the names. Highlevel is just pulling them in. You get to make up the names. So As you see here, you want the campaign source to be FB_ad. This will pull in your Facebook campaign ID, ad name, campaign name, ad set name. Campaign name is the high level overview of what the campaign is for. It's going to be remarketing and retargeting, which is going to be separate from a cold marketing campaign, okay, or a warm marketing campaign. So you're actually going to have that in the name, Bonnie. Usually ad set is where your targeting is. So maybe your remarketing, maybe your campaign name over on Facebook is going to be remarketing Jan 2025 or remarketing 17-inch cookie. Your ad set name, how you're targeting that ad, is going to be probably audience. You're going to say something like people who browsed the 17-inch cookie page, okay? Because that's the audience that you're pulling in. And then ad name is going to be probably the video or the image or the text-based ad here. And if I have this off, if I'm off base, or if you do it differently, please let me know in the YouTube comments here. So that's what all this information is here, Bonnie, specifically for Ms. Bonnie Lucas asking this question. Is I would set up the campaign so my campaign name was retargeting something, retargeting cookie browsers, ad set name, sorted campaign medium you see right there on my screen would be the audience that we are targeting, okay? And then ad name, and these are things you're going to set up in Facebook anyways. Ad name is the actual ad that got there. So what's going to happen is eventually, and I probably don't have any data in here, is this information, Miss Bonnie, is stored at the contact level. Is stored at the contact level down here, okay? Down in the lower right hand corner. Let me see if I can find an example of one so let me see if we can find an example of one here that I did. Okay. Let me see. I may not have an example, so I may have to make up one real quick just so people see how this works. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go find a web page. We're use one of the Higgins super funnels like we did before. Let's do this. You know what? Let's set up something. Let's set up an example. I always love setting up examples for people. So let's take a form right here. Let's set up a brand new page and do a form. Okay. Let's pick one of our websites right here. E-commerce, testing YouTube embeds. We'll go with website 3 here. Okay. We're gonna create. I'm gonna show you basically how to track this stuff coming in. So we're just gonna set up a very basic page here. Drop a form in there. Let's just pick one of our forms. Let's pick a form. GSP opt-in bar contact health and fitness intake. Can we use health and fitness intake? No, we don't want that one. Let's go over here. Lead gen 1 form. Will that one work? We want something simple right there. Okay, perfect. Yes, I want this. Okay. So we're going to connect the domain. We're going to use our test domain right here. Save and publish. Okay. I want you to see how the attribution gets saved because it's interesting to me that this is so important and there are so many questions for it and people sometimes they're just not getting of how to track where your leads are coming from, okay? So what I may have to do here, by the way, is hop into an anonymous tab. So let's hop out of here for this form, this page I just created. Let's find that page, okay? Is that okay, that's the information there, okay? So we're going to take that and bear with me just to keep it clean. I'm going to do this over here in an incognito browser. So you're not going to see this for a second, okay? Actually, you know what? I believe I can. Can I do that? Yeah, here we go. So there's my incognito browser, okay? Let's put my form up there. And what we're going to do is UTM campaign equals banana. UTM source equals cookie. And what was my other one here where our help file talked about, did I get rid of my help file? Yep, there we go. What do we want? Campaign ad, UTM ad set, campaign name, campaign content, campaign, okay, medium, okay. So we're gonna do a very simple example here of UTM campaign, UTM source, UTM medium equals blueberry. So let's make sure I get this right. I'm actually going to, so I don't lose this, I'm going to store this. I'm going to store this off over in our help file. So Carrie, just kind of keep that at the bottom of the file there. Kind of a quick notepad thing going on there. And then once I have this attribute, oh, you know what? Doggone it, Patrick, you're supposed to be in the anonymous tab. See, you guys got to keep me in check here. Here we go. So is this what? No, that's not what we were at. We were at, here we go. So here, so UTM underscore medium equals Barry, okay? So someone's going to come from your Facebook ad or your Google ad into a funnel on your website or into a form on your website, okay? Let's make sure I did this right. UTM campaign, UTM source, okay, cool. And we're going to call this one Patrick 1113 to make it unique. We're going to give myself a unique email address for this test using the cool Gmail trick here at gmail.com. And this is an attribution test. And Bonnie, I apologize if you were looking for a quick answer, and there's not a quick answer because there's just so many steps involved in getting this set up right. And a lot of people still don't get it. That's why that help file that Highlevel gives you is so, so important. So you say, yes, I want this. Your form is submitted, right? Somebody clicked on your Facebook ad campaign, and now they're coming into your form. So what should happen, if I did all this right, is coming back to my list of contacts because I have a new lead, right? A lead that's hot. So I've gotten, so I got all my cool, first of all, did I get a note in here? Okay, I've got my very basic note for contact created. And then down here, if I did it right, oh, you know what? I must have messed up something. Did I not do it right? Direct traffic. That's not right. There we go. There we go. Oh, first attribution. Okay. That may be where I first visited the web page, and here it is right there. But Bonnie, this is how that information gets into you gets in right here. By the way, that direct traffic one, that should be a Facebook ad campaign kind of thing. But what my whole point of setting all this up was the fact that you can get information from other platforms like remarketing campaigns into the contact on Highlevel, and then what you can do is you can use those in reporting. So what you can do now is you can come over here to contacts. You can get a list of contacts here, and of course you can use this in filtering. That's where this gets really cool, is for you to be able to do conditional marketing from someone based on this information right here. And this is next level stuff, and it's just so cool. But imagine that you send somebody a different email based on the fact that they came in via an ad versus they came in versus another mechanism. If you know how someone comes in, you can do some really cool things like make your marketing message and make your funnel adapt to the things that people are saying, okay? It is just so, so cool. But yeah, this information is now stored at the contact level. So what I can do here is I can come here, clean up some of my other columns here, and then come down here, and I should have, let me see, I should have my tracking information right. It may not be here. It may be only available in a workflow. Let's see if I can even find it here. You know what? We'll just do this. We'll get really fancy with our filter, because I know it's in the filters right here. In your filter, so we want attribution based on, here's attribution. We want the, you know what? Let's just add some of these here. Attribution medium. You know what I really want though is I want last attribution. So let's see here. So that's a custom. So is the last attribution versus first attribution in here? We will just go, let's say your attribution campaign is contains, what did I say? Was there an E in my contribution? Let's just see if we can pull that up here. No, let's see. What did I do to get this to pull up? Trust me. So for this contact, the last attribution was the campaign was banana. Okay. So what I should be able to do now then is look at my list of contacts here. Actually for my, let's go to filters. Let's go down to my attribution here to filter out my attribution. Contact activity campaign. Attribution campaign. Attribution. It doesn't let me separate new first versus last. So will it pick up this one right here? No. Don't like what's going on here. What am I missing, guys? What am I missing? Yeah, see, I want to get last attribution, and I thought last attribution was a field here that I could pull up. It's not under campaign. Oh no, that's inactive campaign. Oh, that's the campaign stuff. Contact information. You know what? I know this is possible. I know I'm missing something right here to where I can pull up the attribution. All the attribution is correct right here. Filters, campaign, medium, session source. It's not attribution source, is it? Oh, I just noticed some inconsistencies there. But my whole point being, and obviously I'm not able to figure it out live. My whole point being is that information is stored at the contact level and can be used in different places later. Okay, you want to, and just so you know, the difference between first attribution here and last attribution. First attribution is set once the initial time it comes in, which is why it's so important for you to make sure this UTM information coming in is set up from day one, because you want to, that's usually what you want to know more than anything else, first attribution versus last attribution, because first attribution shows you oftentimes how the cold contact comes into your world. So normally I would be able to figure that out on the fly, but it looks like it's not working the way I expected it to. But that is how the tool works, if you will. Okay, so let's see what other questions we have here. Charles Higgins. I'll put this. Okay, good. Good. Charles answered that. Let's see what other quick questions all of us experts can knock out here. Can someone show me an example of the GHL commerce site? This is okay. This is last week. Not the best store we have built. Okay. So yes, Highlevel can do e-commerce. So time hack. Looks like we are at 117.04. If you're curious, Highlevel can do, Playmaker's platform, can do e-commerce, and you can see that over here under sites and stores. And if I'm not mistaken, I have a test store up here for you to see, because this is another common question we get also. And so let's go to the shop. Do I have anything in my shop to sell? Look at that. I've got the Higgins Super Bundle. It's like Charles Higgins is in my life all the time. So Highlevel does have an e-commerce store. I'm going to be 100%. Shut up, Papa. I'm going to be 100% transparent with you and let you know it is not the most in-depth e-commerce store. Which means, is it a competitor to? Is it a competitor to? Is it a competitor to Shopify? Is it a competitor to WooCommerce? Is it a competitor to some of the more advanced platforms out there when it comes to e-commerce? It is not. Okay, it's a very good basic tool. In the world of Playmakers or in the world of Highlevel, what you're going to notice here is you have a huge collection of really good basic to medium tools. Okay. This is not the best e-commerce platform. And please, nobody at Highlevel, take me out with a sniper rifle for saying that. It is not the best e-commerce platform. That doesn't mean it won't work. Okay? If you're any of you familiar with the Pareto principle, Pareto, it talks about the whole concept of the majority of things being either managed by the minority of things, or in this case, a particular feature handling most of what people need. This, in my opinion, is a feature that goes by the Pareto principle, meaning most people out there, including myself, don't need advanced e-commerce. Okay? They don't need a Shopify. Shopify is a big, giant-ass cool hammer, which does integrate with Highlevel, by the way. They need the basics of e-commerce. They need to put up a coffee cup for sale on a website. Okay, and they just want to sell that. They want to get they want to get the credit card number. They want to charge shipping. They want to charge for the product, and they want to get notified so they can take the coffee cup from their office, wrap it up in some peanuts, and take it to a UPS store and ship it, okay? They don't need really advanced features. So in my opinion, for the people doing e-commerce online, I believe the e-commerce feature inside of Highlevel takes care of 80% of e-commerce needs, okay? You may be in that 20%, 80-20 Pareto principle. You may be in that 20% that needs much more advanced features, okay? Warehouse management, logistics, all kinds of stuff like here. Let's see what Charles has to say here. Let's pull this up here. Don't go away. It works for our needs, which is selling digital assets. This is not our primary business, so it does just fine for us. And same for me, okay? If you come over here and look at my world, let's pull this up here because we've got, let me see. So here we go. So I whipped up, mainly as a demo to tell you the truth for the platform, something at store.stopdoingnothing.com, okay? This is a 100% legitimate store. Feel free to order from it, okay? I'm never going to turn down any money. But what this is here, these are just some basic branding products that I personally wear myself that occasionally people ask for, and I've actually had orders from this, okay? It does the basics. And if you are anybody who's in the world of e-commerce or drop shipping, you can easily tell these are products that I created over on a drop shipping site called Printful. I connected Printful back to my Highlevel account, and now you can actually go here and, you can, up here in the upper right-hand corner, you can see I've already got something in the shopping cart, so I can go here to the checkout, and it takes care of the financing options here. We've got some very advanced payment options thanks to Stripe, but it does do, you can have coupons. It does take care of shipping and handling. It gets the job done. It gets the job done. And this is a philosophy which I want to talk to you about for a little bit. If you're someone who's shopping around for software and tools like this, there are plenty of times, and this may be one of them, where the MVP will work for you, the minimum viable product, okay? If you're somebody who is getting into drop shipping or getting into e-commerce, and I got to have this, I got to have this, I got to have, I got to have all these cool things, all these cool features, because I'm gonna make $1 million someday in e-commerce, $1 million a month someday in e-commerce, okay? But if you are day one of e-commerce and you haven't sold jack yet, okay, don't worry about getting the biggest, baddest, coolest tool. And you're going to respond to me and say, but I don't want to keep changing platforms. I don't want to keep changing platforms. I want to get the tool I'm going to eventually need at the end now. But again, if you're just getting started on this, let's say you're somebody who is, you've gotten a Playmakers platform for us and you're doing coaching and you have a coaching funnel that's running really well. And you're like, okay, Patrick, now I want to sell t-shirts. I'm going to get a Shopify account to sell t-shirts. I'm going to get on Zoom with you. I'm going to say, you do not need a whole new platform if you're just getting started in e-commerce. This will get the job done. This will get the job done. And when someone buys this shirt, I can set up an automation to maybe put them on my email list and keep them abreast of other things I have coming, other changes I have coming. And this is just a regular cycle of e-commerce that we see all the time. So, goodness gracious, how was I start talking about? Oh, there's this guy, Dustin Kessler, over here, who's talking about, let's see, is it talking about this live on YouTube right now? So this is somebody right here who we can, yeah, it would get the job done. It really good. Let me see. Can anyone show me some examples of their GHL e-commerce website? I'll have to reply to that later. There's always some replies. Yada, yada, yada. I have a potential client that is skeptical. Well, your client should be skeptical, but also get requirements, okay? If you're somebody who wants to do e-commerce on this platform, get requirements. Test it out. If you're somebody who's selling this product, you should have a test account. And you can set up a test store just like I did over on my test platform. Oh, you know what? Goodness gracious, I realized I wasn't even sharing my screen. You know what? Let's go back over here and share my screen. You can on a test platform, you can, let me get rid of your comment here, Charles. I love you. But you can come over here on a test platform and easily set up an e-commerce store in just a couple of minutes. It is nothing for you if you're going to do a proof of concept to prove whether this is going to work for somebody. One of the many benefits of a training/testing platform for you to come over here, throw some products underneath here into products, okay? Collections, inventory, throw some things into there, and then come over to sites and whip up a quick e-commerce platform. The coolest part about this is you can actually have different stores. That's one of the reasons I like this is I don't have to, over in Shopify or over in WooCommerce, I have to have a completely distinct separate site to have separate stores. Now over here, since I can attach to multiple domains, I can have one store, I can have 10 stores. It just doesn't matter, okay? So in my opinion, this works. And as you can see here, it worked for Charles also. So this is a good example of a very basic e-commerce store, but to each their own. Let's see, there was another question over here I was going to answer real quick also. Where was I going to go? Oh, I was going to go back up here to turn that on. I saw one that really just chafes me. Here we go. In your opinion, what is a successful high converting sales funnel? What? Okay. Let's take a deep breath. Sip my vodka. This is totally not vodka, right? Number one, I could not chug vodka like that. That would be painful. This is water. But questions like this sometimes make me want to take a swig of something a little bit stronger, okay? In your opinion, what is a successful high converting sales funnel? I'm not even sure what that question means, okay? And oftentimes, in my opinion, working with our clients, we are not asking the right questions, okay? And this is an example, in my opinion, of not asking the right question. In your opinion, what is a successful? Does the person have any idea what they're selling? Are they asking what sells well? Are they asking what sells well in the world of SaaS? Are they asking what sells well in terms of layouts, like landing page, order form, upsell, confirmation? I don't even know what that question means. In your opinion, what is a successful high converting sales funnel? So almost nobody, in my opinion, should be answering that question without asking some more questions first. And I see this a lot in the world of training and education, is people asking questions, but just not asking the right questions. So when someone asks a question like this, in your opinion, what is a successful high converting sales funnel? I got like 10 questions for that person. So that's not even something I can answer. I don't even know what that person wants. Here's a cool post from Jonathan Montoya, how we got 700 SaaS clients in 7 days. Brilliant post in my opinion. Voice AI. I'm looking to use GHL. Here's a good one. I'm looking to use GHL for back-end private distribution within a franchise. My question is 2 parts. Is there a way to accept ACH payments with GHL's web store? I'm not sure. I don't believe there is. If you're talking like the e-commerce, I don't believe there is with the e-commerce store. Is there? I don't believe you can check out using e-commerce ACH. Yeah, I don't see a way. I think it may have to be enabled on your Stripe account, and if you're on Stripe, it may give you some options for it. I rarely deal with ACH, so I'm not entirely sure. Is there a way to make? And the second question is, and Charles agrees with me. Charles just said no. I didn't think there was, but I thought maybe if you're using Stripe, you turn it all over in Stripe, there might be a way. But I would tend to lean towards the no also. Is there a way to make a store private requiring username and password to access within GHL? Nope, there is not. That one I know 100% is not. If you needed that, what I would probably say is just make sure that the link isn't public, or set it up in a way to where no one can check out. No one can check out unless they have some kind of information from you. Like maybe you make the prices outrageously expensive and you have a special coupon code for the private people, kind of thing. But I believe both of those I tend to lean towards no on this. The follow-on here, he has a comment here, says, I can't afford to absorb the CC processing fees on this business. I don't know what you mean by absorb. That should be part of how you price your products. You should be pricing things to include the credit card processing fees. Something else is a pet peeve of mine here. Is people that are like, shipping's too high, credit card fees are too high. Well, number one, obviously work on getting those lowered as much as possible, but also it's the cost of doing business. Factor that into your pricing, okay? Don't complain if you're going to sell something for $10 and your credit card fees are $3 and you want to make $10 profit, yet you're only charging $10 and you're losing $3 off the top. Make your freaking product price $13, okay? Goodness gracious, it's just math, people. Okay, what does Charles have to say here? I always value his opinions. Oh, what did Charles say here? Where is that freaking thing? Where's your comment? There we go. Okay, why does your stuff always come up so freaking small there? I don't. By the way, a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, do what I saw Henry Israel do earlier, and make sure you can click on subscribe on YouTube and turn on notifications. Please, 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 please. No, but this has been a highly requested feature, and they are working on coming out with a solution for gated funnel website pages. Cool. If you had an urgent need, so Charles brings up a very good point here. If you had an urgent need, I'm curious as to Charles' solution, what you would use, Charles. My opinion is if you really need to gate something right now, throw up a quick WordPress website, just a really tiny one inside of your account, and connect it to Highlevel, okay? And then on that website, it's WordPress. You can gate pages. You can password protect pages. So maybe do that, and then hide something inside of there if you really wanted to. But again, right now, your e-commerce stores, your landing pages, your funnels inside of Highlevel are going to be public no matter what you do. So if you really had a strong need, I'll put something behind a password protected page inside of WordPress. But it sounds like we may get something in 4Q25, Q3, Q4, 25. So probably around conference time. Maybe is that what we're thinking? Maybe probably around conference time. Let's see, September, October, November, September, October, November. So October would be 4Q. So something probably right around either right before or right at conference time. They release a lot of features at the conference time. And as you can also reach out to Charles at Pinnacle AI if you need to get this done. He's done it before with JavaScript, so hire him and have him do it for you. Let me see, what other questions do we have going on here? We can solve for people and make their lives easier, because that is what we are here for. We are here to make lives easier. Oh wait, you know what? Carrie had a question here. Let me go up and find that. Hey, Sarah Sheik. Miss Sarah, what was Carrie's? I got you. Thank you. If you have time, can you talk about UTM, setting those up to easily track in Highlevel? Okay, let me know what questions you have in particular about doing that, but we kind of briefly talked about that. Is that, let's come back over here, is that the way you, number one, the way you pass UTMs, let's come over here to my, my attribution. So let's come here to this example right down here. This is how you pass UTM information correctly to a Highlevel page. And I always like talking about the etymology of certain things over the internet. So oftentimes people wonder, what does UTM stand for? Okay. UTM stands for Urchin Tracking Manager. And what this was is many decades ago, not many decades ago, probably a few decades ago, there was an analytics product called Urchin. Okay. And Urchin was a very good analytics product. Google liked it, and Google did the Google thing, and they bought the company. So this company had already established this UTM as a way to get information to a link they could then in turn use inside of analytics. So that's where UTM comes from. Fast forward, Google bought Urchin, made it, I'm not sure if it was free before, but they made it free, and we can all use it now. But they kept this nomenclature of passing UTMs to a web page. So if you want to attribute how leads and how sales are coming to your business, you need to dabble and learn the world of UTMs, like Carrie was just talking about. She's brilliant, but she just wants some information on UTMs here. And so this is how you do it. You basically just take any web page here, okay, any web page, and everything after this, for you super nerds, everything after this is called a query string, okay? So let's separate this out to make this a little bit easier to read, okay? So we have our base URL here, okay? And then we have the query string, okay? I'm going to separate this out to make it a little bit easier to read, okay? So the query string is everything after the web page right here. Your first, and these are like variables, okay? For anyone who's used like values inside of Highlevel, you have like custom values, or you have like custom fields. That's what these basically are. This is a custom field we're passing to the page. It's a fixed value. Same with UTM medium, same with UTM source. Depending on the page, you can pass different parameters here. The first parameter is always a question mark, okay? And then every parameter after that is ampersand variable equals value, variable equals value, variable equals value. So this is the kind of information you have to pass to every page inside of the Playmakers platform if you want to save that information and you want to do reporting later, okay? And by the way, not only does Highlevel use this information, so what happened was UTMs became the standard. And now all these products on the world use UTM as the standard for tracking attribution. Highlevel uses it, obviously Google Analytics uses it, but there are a bunch of other platforms out there that use UTM because this company established a standard way back in the day, and it's just easier for all of us to use the same information. Not to mention, it's very cool because multiple products can use it. So if you've got Google Analytics on a web page or Google Analytics alternative like Modimo, these parameters are recognized. So you're passing that information to a web page, and all the little scripts on the web page are saving this information. So that's how you do it right there. Is you have the base URL, and then you have your query string, and your query string is everything after that. Now, if you noticed here, I typed this out manually because I'm good enough at doing this that I have. Sorry, watch is vibrating. Let's make sure everything is okay. That I can just do it kind of in my sleep, and super nerds can do it in their sleep. However, if you're not a super nerd and you don't want to become a super nerd, there's a really cool tool for this. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see. You know what? Let me see. I think it's UTM Builder. There we go. UTMbuilder.net. UTMbuilder.net. This would be a time hack 13620. How to build really nice, clean UTMs. And Carrie, let me know if I'm asking your question here. But if you don't want to have to be a super nerd and remember all this junk right here, you can just come over here to UTMbuilder.net. Put in your base page right there, and then you need a minimum of you don't need any of these. It's recommended to have at least 3 of these, and these last 2 are optional. So what I would do here is, let me see, what do we have for UTM source? I would put in cookie here. Cookie. For UTM campaign, I would put in banana. 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 And for UTM medium, I would put in blueberry. Blueberry right there. Okay. So you put in all this right here, and then this is really cool. Is this tool will just come down and build that freaking thing for you. Okay. That way you don't have to memorize how to do it. Okay. So the tool is at utmbuilder.net. I think they throw an extra character. Oh, they don't throw an extra character in there. Okay, cool. But this is the tool that I recommend to people if they want to start using UTMs. And the one thing I'll leave with is the fact that when you are referring traffic to your website, you should be using UTMs for every kind of inbound link that comes to your website, okay? If you don't, your tools, your marketing, your metrics, they have to kind of guess as to how a lead came in, okay? And it's almost rarely correct, if you will, okay? It's almost rarely correct. So if you're doing like social media posts, and other times, by the way, that I leave this off plenty, okay? If you're doing social media posts, it doesn't hurt to pass in UTM information. If you're doing a social media post and you're linking back to your website, it never hurts to put on UTM information on every social media post. And if you really want to get detailed, you can make sure the information sent to your funnel is unique, so you almost know like which social media post generated the lead. Okay. If you're getting leads from social media, but you don't know, are they coming from this Facebook group? Are they coming from my profile? Are they coming from this post? Or are they coming from a TikTok? What you can do is you can use the same landing page, if you will, for all your marketing efforts, okay? And just change the information here, okay? Let's go back. Let's take a look at this. Let's minimize my face. Here we go. Let's minimize my face. Let's move me over here. Let's minimize my face a little bit, okay? See, how do we do that? Okay, let's minimize Patrick right down there. So if you're sending inbound traffic to your funnels and to your website, just start just whether it's on TikTok or Facebook page profile on LinkedIn, it doesn't really matter. Just change your UTM source. Maybe sometimes it's Oh, very cool. That's right. Thank you, Charles. Man, Charles always for the win. UTM source here may be the platform it's coming from. It might be TikTok. It might be Facebook page. It might be Facebook Taft page. Okay, or yeah, Facebook Taft page. I tend to go from general to specific when I'm building strings. So this tells me, by the way, that came from Facebook. And this one may be Facebook page slash Taft. So that tells me that number one, it came from Facebook. Number two, it came from a Facebook page, and then it tells me which Facebook page it came from right there. Okay, does this make sense right here? And this one may be Facebook page Taft. This one may be Facebook profile, which means this lady, Carrie Taft, brilliant lady, shared something and it came from her Facebook profile. This may be from, a Facebook group, and let's say this is the Saucepreneur group. Okay. So they're just different because these strings here, UTM source, UTM medium, UTM campaign, they can be whatever you want. So what you need to do is kind of come up with some standard ones for your business, put them in some kind of company SOP or spreadsheet. I've seen companies put these in spreadsheets before. So everybody in the company is using the same standard set of UTMs. And this may seem like a trivial, unimportant thing, but where it matters is once you start, doing stuff like building dashboards. And if I'm not mistaken, by default on dashboards, there used to be like a lead source widget that'll basically shows how much revenue is in the pipeline per lead source. Okay. That's why you want attribution on here. And as you grow as a business, as you develop and grow, you're also going to want to be tracking how certain marketing efforts are profitable. Okay. At a recent conference, I wore customized t-shirts, and there was probably a special URL. If you scan the QR code, assuming the QR code worked, because I've screwed up on that before. But when you're building like QR codes, put in different marketing tactics or different marketing strategies, you can use different UTMs per QR code. Okay. This is one of the easiest things you can do to set up, but it's long term, it's going to be very, very powerful for your business to know where your business is coming from. And it sounds like in the platform there, Charles from Pinnacle AI is saying that's coming pretty soon. I knew it was in email campaigns. I don't ever use email campaigns. Automatic UTMs, cool, coming soon to social platforms. That's how important they are. They're going to be incorporating it as a very basic part of the product. It's so, so important kind of information. And it's just something we initially set up for clients. So if you ever want to talk about how to do it, let me know. You can reach out to Stop Doing Nothing, Patrick at stopdoingnothing.com. You can text that number right there, 405-217-4752, or you can reach out to Carrie Taft of Taft Systems. You can reach out to Charles Higgins of Pinnacle AI. All of us have, been there, done that, got the t-shirt and the skirt kind of thing right there. So that's my rant there on UTMs. Let's look for some other questions that we can answer here. Okay, so Brock is happy we answered that question. Let's see if we can answer some other basic 101 questions here to get people down the right path today. I'm new to GHL, a $97 account, and looking to go SaaS model under some agency. Who do you recommend so I can achieve the most of my coach's experience? Those are always interesting threads. Any recommendations? Appreciate your directions. DM if needed. Okay, so this person needs coaching and strategy right there. I will let somebody else jump on that, starting off with a $97 account. Next question here. Hi, folks. Is it possible to build one of those tap-to-go review cards inside of Google? Yeah. I mean, it's possible. You are going to need some other tools besides just Highlevel to do it. But what the person's talking about is like when you check out at some store and they have like a thing you can like tap your phone to review. That's an NFC tag. NFC stands for near field something. I can't remember what it stands for. But yeah, I mean, goodness, just about anything's possible with the right amount of hardware and software and developer chops you can do. Goodness gracious. Threads like this chafe me. GHL secrets that would lead to the highest agency client conversions Go. Go. Oh, one of my pet peeves is people ending a post with go. Like we're all racing to answer that person's question. Sad thing is I probably answered that person's question, but yeah, a pet peeve of mine is people ending a post with go. Oh, a brilliant post by Karen Height as usual in the group. Please make sure you go consume that. Is there a GHL ads manager now? Yes, there's a GHL ads manager. Okay. Hello, I'm new to Jessica Lawson has a question here. Hello, I'm new to GHL and currently trying to find the fastest, most efficient, and easiest way to port all of my data from the following platforms into GHL. Okay. ManyChat for Instagram automations. Well, we know we have that's not going to be an import. That's going to be a redo. Any kind of automations is going to be a redo. Okay. If you are porting any kind of automation from any other platforms, Tyson, shame, Tyson, shame. I'm just picking on you, brother. It's all good. It's all good. Any type of automation. I've seen people ask this before. How can I import my automation from platform A to platform B? Automations are like software programming languages. There's no easy way to just take a COBOL program and automatically convert that to PHP. Number one, kudos if you know what both of those words means. But number two, they're just too custom, okay? There's no way to automatically convert that. And for the same fashion, there's no automatic way to convert an automation from ManyChat or from Pipedrive or from Infusionsoft over into Highlevel. It's pull them up side by side and rebuild the business logic step by step, okay? So ManyChat for Instagram automations, it's going to be a manual process. Flowdesk for email campaigns, going to be copy and paste. It really is going to be copy and paste, email to email, get those email templates over. Close.io for CRM. I don't even know what that means. I know what the close.io for CRM, I know what that CRM is, but I don't know what they mean about just import the CRM. Kajabi for courses. Woohoo! Good one. We have a winner here. There is a Kajabi importer inside of Highlevel. You hear that, folks? There is a Kajabi importer inside of Highlevel, which should do most of the heavy lifting for you. But again, that if you don't like importers, that's just going to be a matter of copy and paste, copy and paste. Squarespace for my domain. Well, can't help you there. You're going to have to move your domain someplace. Migrate your domain to Cloudflare, I would suggest. I would prefer Cloudflare, to tell you the truth, over Highlevel. It's just I kind of like having my domains where my DNS information is located. So that's my take on that. So ManyChat for Instagram automations, rebuild manually. There's also an email importer, but is there an email importer from like platform to platform like Flowdesk? I'm not sure there's a platform specific email importer. You may have to get your emails into a certain format, I think, and then import them into Highlevel. But I've never seen anything in Highlevel that says it's an email importer from platform A to Highlevel. It's more like a CSV email importer kind of thing there. Close.io for CRM. I will make a huge assumption that she's talking about contacts. That might be one of the easiest import things to do, is to basically export contacts from platform A into a very good CSV file. If you need to, clean it up in Google Sheets and then push that over to Highlevel. The one thing I would suggest that I don't see people do a lot of is test this. Okay, if you're an agency who's working with another company and they say, "Hey, I want to import this into my account," open up that file and make a copy of that file. Open it up in some kind of spreadsheet editor. Cut it down to 10, 20 contacts and play with the import over and over and over. Don't import live the first time. Play with your import in a test instance. When you import these test contacts, number one, you do not want automation kicking off on these because while you're testing, and remember MailChimp is currently available. Okay, cool. My bad on there. Man, there's so much goes on in this product that I just cannot keep track of. I knew. Why did I know MailChimp was there? I've heard of that one before. But anyway, my whole point is imports are pretty easy, especially contact imports. If I'm not mistaken, we have opportunity imports now. Also, we don't have company imports yet, but I think that will eventually come. But yeah, when it comes to importing contacts, please test those. I'm going to say it's going to be much better, in my opinion, to import first name and last name in a separate column versus importing that all in one column. So I would recommend that if you're going to clean up and reformat data, it's better for you to do it on your own in a Google Sheet before you ever feed that into a CRM. Okay, don't cross your fingers and hope that the platform uh, is going to, let me see how to put this right. Don't cross your fingers and hope the platform is going to understand your CSV file correctly and figure out how to separate certain data points. Okay, as much as possible, get that clean in a Google Sheet before you ever import it. Um, uh, okay, so Carrie's putting a disclaimer here. So you can do email imports. So here we go. So first of all, there is a platform specific, but only for a few platforms. That's Carrie from Taft Systems right there. Make sure you are following her. But what else did you say here? Also, that was very specific. But those come over as HTML. If you don't read HTML, you'll have to manually create your email. So it looks like there is a way to import emails. It may not be as clean as you want it to be. I am just such a fan of copy and paste over for stuff like this. I just really, importing things that are specially formatted or things that are formatted as HTML don't import well from platform to platform. I dealt with this recently when I was dealing with a lawyer client. I said, what did I say? I said, here's a Google Doc. Paste the emails you want us to import over here in this Google Doc. And I got a reply back saying, I don't use Google Docs. That totally screws up my formatting. So I will not be sending it over that way, which is his prerogative. I'll be sending it over using Word Docs. And we can put it in Highlevel from Word Docs. And I'm like, okay, this is a platform. This is an issue that has been just a bane of our existence in the world of IT. There's no easy way, usually, there's no easy way to format something perfectly on one platform and you put it over in another platform and it imports flawlessly. So whether or not you are doing something in Mac Pages or Microsoft Word, if you're formatting something a certain way with headers, colors, footers, spacing, things like that, you should expect fully, excuse me, I don't know which one's the right one there, to have to redo that when you import to get it right, okay? Every platform formats things just a little bit different, okay? So if you're gonna be, I don't trust any auto import stuff, especially stuff that has HTML or custom formatting. So just plan on doing it. I actually like to copy stuff out for people over to a plain text editor, remove all formatting, then paste that over into a new platform completely clean and from scratch. So we got some questions here. Let's see what, oh goodness gracious, I almost banned you, Carrie. Can you believe that? I almost clicked on the ban button here. Here we go. What do we have here for questions? What's your go-to way of creating just a snapshot for certain automations and funnels rather than the whole sub account and having to unselect every irrelevant piece? I'm sure Charles is going to have some opinions here. Are you talking about unselecting when you import the snapshot into another account or unselecting during the creation of the snapshot? I think what we're probably talking about is unselecting when you import the snapshot. So you know what? Let's see. Do I have any snapshots available that I can use on this? Let me see if I can find a snapshot that we can play with importing. So what I believe you're talking about, let me go to my agency level here and find a snapshot we can deploy. So what you're saying is account snapshots. So what you're saying here is so imported snapshots. So what you're saying is create new account. So I believe what you're saying is create new account. And when you want to do it, so when you're doing this manually, okay, let me try that here. Okay. So when you're doing this manually, let's share this screen here. Let's make sure I get this right. So this is me creating a new account, okay? And what I did though is I picked a snapshot before this and I said create this account from the snapshot. So we're going to call this our Tyson account. Tyson Venables. And email address we're going to say is Patrick Almond plus 1156@gmail.com. That's how I, by the way, get a lot of, if you have a Gmail account or a Google Workspace account and you want to, oh, look at that. Well, there you go. Look at that. Charles again for the win. So here's the answer here. Look at Charles for the win. When you create a snapshot now, you have the ability to select what assets from the source account you want to be included in the snapshot. Ooh, so let's go do that. So let me unshare my screen because I just don't feel like exposing everything in my account. And what did Charles say again? Charles said, when you create a snapshot now, you have the abilities to select what assets from the source account you want to be included in the snapshot. So what we can do here then is we can go to our sub account. Let me find the test sub account. We'll use our training sub account, okay? We will go to our training sub account. So manage client, and then load. No, we don't want that. We want, here we go. Let me see, account snapshots. Let's get this right in the right place before I pull up my screen again. Create new snapshot. So let's pull this up here. So snapshot name, this is my test snapshot. And we're going to actually pull up here what Charles says here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's share our screen. Goodness, look at here. So what he's saying is, Tyson, oh, I've got too many Charles. I've got too much Charles screen on my screen now. Let's go over here and close this Charles comment so we can see the other Charles comment. When you create a snapshot now, you have the ability to select what assets from the source you want to be included. So this is me creating a new snapshot from my test account, and it looks like under custom values here, I can pick. What you're saying here, I believe, is I can pick and choose. I'm not mistaken, Charles, right? I should be able to pick and choose what I can and cannot import here. So these are the list of assets. So it looks like, see, what did Tyson say here? Yeah, I have an automation and funnel that is tried and tested. I want to deploy those on a new sub account. So what you're saying here, some places I should be able to do that, right? Do I have to go to my next step? Oh, didn't like that. So let's go back to my Playmakers training account. We call this one test 2. And this is the lab features. I thought I had all lab features turned on. But what you're saying here is, which seems odd, is it doesn't look like I can select it. So what am I missing here? What am I missing here? So we've got our blog, we've got our calendars, and what you're saying is, yeah, I just don't see it here. So it sounds like, okay, cool. So it may not be released yet. Okay, cool, all good. Yeah, sometimes you get a little bit confused about what's getting ready to be released and what is, what has been released. So Tyson, your only solution for right now is going to be creating a snapshot. Basically, is replicating the big giant snapshot. You're replicating the big giant snapshot over to another account, cleaning it up, creating a smaller snapshot, and then using that smaller snapshot for the other one. It's kind of a multi-step process. I know it seems not the cleanest in the world, but it looks like it's going to be coming soon, kind of thing. Cool. You can only pick and choose as you're loading into the individual sub account. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, interesting. Oh, so everything's in the snapshot. Oh, okay. So what you're saying then is, when loading the snapshot into the agency, you have to load the entire snap. So what you're saying though is if I'm going to create a new sub account, and it's going to be a regular account, and we're going to do a blank one here, select and continue. So Charles, it may be there. It may just be that we had it on, we were looking in the wrong place. So what you're saying here is, okay, so what I'm going to do here is, bear with me. I want to get this set up just right. So we're going to take a snapshot here. Here's my test snapshot. And what you're saying is if we create a new account from this snapshot, add account manually, let's, I'm moving so fast, I don't even know what I was saying, Carrie, to get a thank you for. So what you're saying is if I come over here and I create my Tyson account. Oh, I see what you're saying. You know what? My brain's getting full clamped here. I'm trying to do too many things at once. What you're saying is, okay, when you're showing, so your snapshot agency, okay, you can only pick and choose as you're loading into the individual sub account. And I think what you're saying is you want it to be okay. I think we're saying this here is Tyson. You can kind of do what you're saying in a roundabout way, but I think what you're saying is you only when you create the snapshot is when you want to be able to do this, right? Yeah, you can do it on import. Let's see, what time is it? Page Carrie's referring to what it's been there. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you guys for keeping track of the conversations for me. Okay, got it. Okay, so Carrie's referring to what's been there. So basically, there's two different features. There's one where you create the snapshot, which we hope is coming soon, which is where you pull in. When you're creating the snapshot, you get to specify what's in it. And we're talking about another feature. So it's almost like one on the import and one on the export, if you'll make sense. One on the feature where you create the snapshot and another on the feature where you push the snapshot out is what we're talking about. One of those, the other one on the second, the push out, that feature exists, according to Charles and Carrie, correct? Make sure I'm getting this right. But the other one doesn't quite exist yet, which is what Tyson's looking for, which is when you create the snapshot. When you create the snapshot is when and then once the account is created, oh, that's right. Okay. So that makes sense, Tyson, what she's saying there. And that one I've seen and that one I've done. So exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, now I'm with you. Sometimes it takes a little bit for that coffee to kick in. Sometimes it does take a little bit for that coffee to kick in. I have no excuse because this is 2 cups of coffee I've had here. So what Carrie is saying here, Carrie from Task Systems, is you have to have a sub account created. So you have like an empty sub account. Yeah, the push out already exists. Yeah. So what she's saying though is you basically can do with like an empty sub account or an existing sub account that you already have assets inside of. You basically that has to exist, and then from there you can load in the snapshot once the account's up and running, and you can pick and choose what gets pushed in there. So we've got part of it. We've got it on the push. What we want is we want it on the kind of the pull, if you will. We go out there. And according to Charles, it's coming soon, and you should 100% follow him and trust him 100%. Because this is the guy I learned from right here. I'm just happen to be the guy on camera. This is the guy that knows a ton of stuff. Both Carrie and Charles are brilliant here, and I appreciate having them here. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. So Tyson, you're set up here. Let's see if we can answer one more question before we call it a day on the stream. Let me see here. Ooh. We're looking here for a recently asked question that we can answer here. As always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments right here. Okay. Ooh. Let me see. What's another good question? A commonly asked question that we can answer a lot. What's your guys' take on managing ads through Highlevel? I cannot personally see me. I'm so spoiled by using native ad managers that whenever I have like a layer on top of native ad managers, to me it gets a little bit messy. So I haven't used it, and I probably won't use it. I think it has probably certain use cases, but when I'm running my ads, I always like to work in the native platform, because the features are faster. Let me see here. One more. We got to get one more good question here. I'll look at that. Carrie's comment keeps popping up here. Which SEO, which tools do you like to use for SEO? Ahrefs and agency analytics there. I have a client who wants to do cold SMS. That client needs to be backslapped. Page speed. Has anyone been able to generate sub 0.5 second load times consistently? I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. Sub 5 second load times. I don't know. As long as something loads in 2 or 3 seconds, it should be okay. Jonathan Montoya's great post on 700 clients in 7 days. 5-day challenge. Let me see. It's a scale factor and it's a SaaS versus agency model. Okay, thank you. It's just not my jam. Is what it's going to be. You might already set up some automation. Here's an interesting one. I think I read this yesterday. You might already set up some automations in the snapshots for your users. The problem is when at some point, some users need additional automations apart from what you provided. What do you do in such a situation? Well, the first answer is send them an invoice and charge them and build it. Send them a very happy invoice, if you know what I'm talking about, and charge them for it if it's custom work and build it if that's the model you want to run. Workflow automation, second paragraph. Workflow automations are already complicated as it is. Maybe. So it is probably guaranteed your users will have a hard time creating them themselves, 100%. You know what? It's like programming. Automations for me are really easy because I was programming. I mean, I'm not being dramatic. When I was probably dabbling in some kind of programming world at the age of 10 or 11. 100% I know by the time I was 13 or 14. So, and that's all automations are, is like software development or programming, if you will. And so whenever I hop into an automation or when someone gives me a business case and I have to recreate that in automation, I'm like the Matrix guy. I can see the code. Okay. So they are complicated for end users, but if you're working in the world of marketing automation, they should get easy pretty quick. Last paragraph. But what happens when you have 100 to 500 users and a lot of them require additional automations? Number one, you start shopping for the boat or the car that you're going to buy as a result of the money, right? So that's the first thing you do is, 500 people need automations. Okay. I'm going to charge them a $5,000 customization fee, and I'm going to go down to the local, Prius lot, local Lexus lot, and start shopping for my car. I'm kidding, 100% kidding there. But yeah, if you've got 100 to 500 people that need custom automations, you're going to charge them for it. You're going to charge them a huge monthly retainer and put that as part of the plan, or you're going to send them a one-off invoice for it. Okay, in my opinion here, assuming that's your model. Okay. That's assuming that's your model. And then what you're going to do also is you're going to find a way to get a good team, either people you hire directly via W-2 or 1099, or you hire a company to help you with that stuff. So you have to think, first of all, do I want this business model of custom work? Okay. A lot of people in this world, and my mindset issue is kind of always flip-flopping back and forth, and Brilliant Carrie and I have talked about this, is I've done a lot of custom work since the day one I've been in business. Whether I've done it or I've hired somebody to do it or I've had somebody that works for me that's done it or I've given it, doesn't really matter. We've done tons of custom work. Cookie cutter work is a lot easier, but custom work pays more, okay? So to me, that answer is really easy. It's like someone's basically saying, how do I do this? The answer, in my opinion, I have to be really careful about saying AI would be an answer. And this is something that really bothers me a little bit these days, is when people just say, oh, just ask ChatGPT, it'll do it for you. So now you've got clients out there building marketing tools and marketing automation, going to ChatGPT, which is not the expert on Highlevel, and telling people how to build automations. And plus, Highlevel has a built-in AI, an AI built-in automator right now, which I can't say I've ever used. But to me, this is just, this is just money and custom work. This is just money and custom work. So when I see a question like this, I don't understand them directly. It's like, so a bunch of people want you to do custom work, and you're like, and the person's saying, what do you do? Like, you go to invoice and start making it rain. You go over to invoices and start making it rain. You go over to estimates and contracts. You start making it rain. I mean, to me, the answers are pretty simple there. I would not rely on ChatGPT or Claude to build my automations, by the way. And is there burning high-level questions? I am not going to talk about PHP. Or talk about that one. Oh, let me see here. Anyone heard when and if the dev team is making it so that we can share AI features we built for a niche and a snapshot so we can add to other accounts? I haven't heard anything. I'm not sure that's ever coming. I know, I'm juggling around. Now look at this. Yeah, this is a little bit of a challenge, and we've talked about this before on the show. This person's basically asking, what niche would I be in? What niche should I go in? And there's two different ways to answer this, because there's the niche of which industry should you go into, and there's the niche of which industry feature you should go into. What I've seen a lot, and we're going to kind of close this up here, unless Carrie or Charles want me to close with something else. What I've seen a lot of is people doing service industry work and just reputation management. Okay, there are people out there making more money than your house costs every month on just a given industry and a given feature. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. But I see so many posts out there, and we saw a lot of these at the end of December. Like the last half of December, people are starting to post. This is what I did in the past 12 months. I went from 0 to 70K, which is just brilliant to see. But almost all the ones I see, including like the Rob Baileys of the world, are they picked a niche and they picked a single feature. That's it. That is it. And I have been guilty of this, and other people have been guilty of this, of just every single time. Hey, Sean coming at you live at high level. Every single time Sean speaks, it's like, crap. I got to stop and redo my marketing strategy. I've got to stop and redo my landing page. I've got to stop and redo my value stack. Stop doing that, okay? I am guilty of it. I am going to confess to being 100% guilty of it. You got to stop doing that, okay? Pick something like nursing. For me, it might be airplanes. Pick an industry like airplanes. And so you're just going to do marketing for airplane companies. FBOs is what they're called at the airport. Fixed-based operators, okay? Maybe you're just doing reputation management for fixed-based operators. You know what? Corporate jet companies make great money, okay? It's very rare that you're going to borrow or get a flight someplace on a corporate jet for less than $5,000, okay? Let alone, $10,000, $20,000. That FBO was doing several of those flights every single month, okay? So that FBO is making a little bit of money. That FBO can afford a $497, a $997, possibly even a $1997 for you to help them get good ratings. What does Charles say? Write this down, my friends. Write this down someplace and note it came from Charles Higgins of Pinnacle AI. We have stuck with the same price, the same offer since we started. And I've seen Charles. He has like one of those large warehouses like that Scrooge McDuck would do. And Charles has like a diving board. And he just like dives into the pile of money and he's swimming around. That's how well Pinnacle AI is doing. Never met Charles in my life. I'm just making it up. But I know he's successful. I know he's good at what he does. Okay? I know he's good at what he does. Look at that. Not multiple prices, guilty. Not multiple industries, guilty. Not multiple features, guilty. I am so guilty of this. And Carrie, who I absolutely adore, good friend of mine, probably more so every single day, we've had some private conversations about this. It's bitten both of us in the ass. And my ass hurts. My ass hurts. I'm tired of getting bitten in the ass. So, there's always times where I'm kind of reshaping, redoing my business model to accommodate for this. But yeah. This person here, Abdul Rolf, no dog to you. And by the way, Carrie, if you could put a time hack on here whenever I start talking about this, about which niche to work on, you probably already did it knowing you. Let me see, hop over here. Let me see, did she put it here? UTMbuilder.net. No, we could probably push this back a couple of minutes and talk about, or figure out exactly where we start talking about this. But yeah, you know what? This is probably something, Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, man. This is something we've covered on different live streams also. The importance of just niching down, making your bank there, and then, don't cry when the money comes in, man. Don't cry when the money comes in. Yeah, new features means more value to the current offer. Yeah. Imagine if you're doing something like, let's say you're doing very well with reputation management inside a high level, and another feature comes along like voice AI. Well, you can now go back to all of your reputation management clients and say, oh, by the way, we can actually throw, voice AI into your stack also. Either same fee every month, or I'm assuming since Charles goes with the same fee every month, I'm sure that, he kind of wraps it up in his current package, but maybe that's when you come up with another higher level package. But again, be very careful about that. So almost, I'm not going to say all of them, but it just amazes me how many case studies of people doing things very well are, oh, I picked this one industry and this one feature, and I went from 0 to 70K in 5 minutes. I went from 0 to 70K in 5 minutes. Okay. That's an exaggeration, but it's just something I eventually had to learn and pay attention to myself. And I'm trying to remember that every single day when I'm building out my Playmakers platform for people. Okay. We have gone how long here? Did we go over 2 hours? I did. 2 hours and 15 minutes. 217. 217. We've got to figure out where that time hack is. We can do that maybe after the thing. So I can get these time hacks on there. But as usual, yeah, Charles, thanks for showing up. Terry, thank you for showing up of Task Systems. Charles of goodness gracious, where are you? Pinnacle AI, right there. Your logo doesn't show up that well in the chat, Carrie. It looks like a big giant white circle. I think that's like your YouTube logo or your Google logo right there. But we all know that is Carrie Taff from Task Systems right there. As usual, guys, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. If you have any questions about High Level, feel free to either DM me, feel free to text the number that you see on the screen right there, 405-217-4752. Search for Patrick Allman if you want my name or email address, or to DM me on social media. I don't have any special alias. I'm just Patrick Allman everywhere. As always, subscribe on YouTube and turn on notifications. Let's read this last comment from Charles here, and this will be our parting. We will call this our parting shot. I cover it all the time when coaching agencies. It's one of the biggest sticking points for new agencies. They overcomplicate the question at hand. So if you're a new agency and you're having problems figuring out a niche, maybe get in a conversation with Charles, or get in a conversation with Carrie, or get in a conversation with me, and we will virtually slap you around a little bit and get you on the right path. And then you can be one of those case studies where, in December 15th of this year, you're like, oh, goodness gracious, I talked to Charles, I locked down my niche, and my growth happened a lot faster. Okay, let's make you a good case study for the Playmakers platform / High Level platform. And until then, let's hop off. Let's all get some work done. Let's obviously bookmark the YouTube channel. Go back to the comments on this video if you want to learn more about what Carrie and Charles were saying here in the comments. So the video will be on YouTube, by the way. Feel free to share it. Wouldn't hurt my feelings if you shared it. But this video will stay static on YouTube, and I will probably drop it over in the wiki. Over in the wiki. Oh, you know what? Let's cover that real quick, because I covered that in the very beginning. Last thing, parting shot. I promise this time, for sure. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that, brother man. Okay, so back here in my browser, for those of you that are turning in at the end who weren't here from the beginning, I have a side project which I am working on, but I need people to help me with if you are interested. And I'm just looking for, it would be cool to have several people working on this at the same time. This is a marketing automation cookbook.com is the domain here. And what I'm doing here is I'm basically starting to build a high level wiki, if you will, okay? With all the assets I find. Specific good high-level company assets. I'm not trying to take their business, so I link directly to the official pages here. But down here, I need to, Charles, I need to get you in down here, and Carrie, I need to get you down here. These are the ones I just kind of knew by hand. But if you have any really good Facebook groups, I need to list them here. If you have any other really good YouTube channels, I need to list them here. I'm building that up. I'm slowly adding case studies as I find them here. So the latest one being the one I saw from Jonathan Montoya. I'm going to put in useful Facebook conversations here. I'm going to put in any useful code snippets here. And then, some very basic training down here, along with links to different parts of the wiki here, obviously all of it being interlinked here. And you may ask, Patrick, why are you doing this when we have the official high-level documentation? Okay, this is not just high-level documentation. Okay, what this is a collective collection. Let's say collection. This is a collection, okay, of community-sourced information. As always, our first source of reliable information should be the official high-level resources, their help files, things like that, the ideas board, the changelog. That should be your first and primary source of factual information. However, what this is here is this is a place for the Patricks of the world, the Carries of the world, the Keith Bashirs of the world, the Harvey Holmes of the world, the Charles Higgins of the world, for us to individually edit and source this information. So we can talk about any topic here, okay? High-level documentation is to document the product high level. The whole goal of this website is for us to source our collective information. Come on, do I have to tell you what Wikipedia is? Wikipedia probably has millions of pages. And it's all community-sourced information. That's the goal here, is to make this community-sourced information, making sure we give love to the right people when they share the information. So, for example, for Jonathan Montoya, I was talking about here about how I embedded all of his information here. Here's a link to the Facebook link. Here's a link to his YouTube channel and his video. And down here, I actually have his affiliate links here. So my goal here is to get, I'm not going to say thousands and thousands, but lots of pages on here of useful information. And then maybe this becomes a resource that people can go to after they've looked at the official high-level documentation. High-level documentation will show you this is how you start an automation. The wiki code will show you this is how you build an automation to correctly attribute lead source back to a contact based on A, B, and C. Goodness gracious. Whenever I talk, I always think about all these branching topics I want to talk about. Last one, I swear this time. One of the challenges people have is reaching out to the high-level company and asking them how to do things in their business. And that's not what the high-level company is for. The high-level company is to show you how to use the product. It's not to show you how to build your business processes. It's not to show you how to get your leads, how you are going to be, how to do something a right way versus wrong way. Their goal is to show you how to do a specific thing with the product technically versus, philosophically or theory or using a business case. And hopefully I'm distinguishing those two things correctly. So if you go with high-level support and you're like, I want to build an automation to do A, B, C, and D, and they're like, well, this is how you start automation, and this is how you drag the icons over, and that's the extent of it usually, versus helping you build your entire business case. To do that, you got to hire a Charles, a Carrie, a Patrick, somebody like that to help you build up specific business cases. So again, if it's something you're interested in, Charles, I see that you put a comment right there. If you want to, Charles, I'll give you a WordPress admin ID for this. And it's one of those things where I'm going to have to trust people to basically not spam it, but I'm going to go with people I trust in the world, okay? And if we want to create, a Charles Higgins page on here for Pinnacle AI and link back to your content, I'm perfectly okay with that. And Carrie was one of the first persons I talked to about this. She knows I'm definitely okay with that. But again, we're not going to have this. I'm probably not going to have this be everybody, all 93 or 90,000 people in the Facebook group be able to modify this, but just, a key 10 or 20 people that I know are brilliant that can each spare, 10 to 15 minutes a week just doing this. It's just it's a WordPress site. I've installed a minimal amount of plugins. If you go down here, this is the WeDoc plugin. And down here you can see I kept it pretty simple. I'm not trying to do anything very fancy. I installed Divi, which is my WordPress page builder I use when I use WordPress. I installed WeDocs, and that's all I really needed. That and the theme. So I'm keeping the site quick and easy, and of course it is hosted inside of my high-level account also. So okay, that's it. Let's call it a day. I need some protein. I need some protein. I need to get out. Is it over freezing yet? Ooh, it's over freezing. I can get out and do some walking. Thank you as always for tuning in. Subscribe, like on YouTube. And you know what? We will see you whenever I choose to do the next live stream. Anyways, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.